Hello. It is summer, which is my favorite time. Hopefully, the weather is getting nicer where you are and you're enjoying longer days, which are perfect for reading. I am so excited to be a part of Boys Town Summer Read-Aloud series. It's one of my favorite things to do, sharing the Freddie the Fly series with all of you. Variety of books, working on different social skills. He is near and dear to my heart. That's why he's always close to me. So today I'm going to read you Freddie and Friends Bugging Out. I am Kimberly Delude, the author. The illustrations are by the wonderfully talented Brian Martin. So I hope you all enjoy the story. Hey guys, Freddie here. Meet my friend Stella. She's a stink bug, and she's here to tell you her story. Whoosh! Oops! I mean, hello. I'm Stella. I'm new here, and it really stinks being the new kid. Bad things are always happening. Have you guys ever had that bad things in a day? Me too. Like when I got my line space in class, I didn't get to be the line leader. I got mad. Very mad. So mad that my stomach grew bigger and bigger and bigger until whoosh, I bugged out and destroyed the classroom. Later at lunch, mosquito knocked over my milk. The gases whirled and swirled until my stomach grew so big that I exploded. Worst of all, when I was coming back from art, I realized Slinky had my yellow crayon. I felt the blood whiz through my wings, and I grew and grew and grew until, whoosh, I bugged out and sprayed everywhere. I ran to the bathroom and tripped and cut my leg. That was it. The blood rushed to my head, and I popped. Now I'm hiding in the bathroom. Knock, knock. Hey, Stella. It's Freddie. Is everything okay? No. Bad things keep happening. So I bug out, I answer. That happens to me sometimes too, says Freddie. Really? I ask. Really. I know someone who can help. Follow me, Freddie said. Stella, meet Mrs. Monarch. Hi, Stella, Mrs. Monarch says. How is everything going on your first day? Not good, I sniffle. Bad things keep happening. I show her my bandage. Oh no, she says. And that's not even the worst of it, I go on. What else happened? Asked Mrs. Monarch. You mean what didn't happen? My milk spilled. I wasn't first in line. In art class, Slinky used my crayon, I said. That sounds like a lot. So how did you respond? Asked Mrs. Monarch. I bugged out, I answer. And when you hurt your leg, she continues. I bugged out then too, I say. Sounds to me like you were weighing all your problems the same, said Mrs. Monarch. Huh? I'm confused. Mrs. Monarch took out a piece of paper. All problems have a weight, Mrs. Monarch says. There are big, heavy ones. These are often emergencies. They may impact lots of people and often require adults' help and time to fix. There are meh problems. These are in the middle. They still may require adults' help, but they won't take as long to fix. Then there are the no bigs. No bigs usually only affect a few people. They may feel big, but when you put them on the scale, they aren't heavy and can be solved quickly and without an adult. But all my problems feel big, I say. I get it, Mrs. Monarch laughs. That's how I feel when I miss my morning coffee. But it's important to make sure your reaction is equal to the problem's weight. Bugging out over little things doesn't help. It can make you and others more upset and can make the problem take longer to solve. But how do you know a problem's weight? Freddie asked. Mrs. Monarch pulled out a scale. Now, you won't usually have a real scale, so you'll have to visualize this in your head, she says. She took one of Stella's problems, like Slinky accidentally taking the crayon, and put it on one side of the scale. To figure out the balance, ask these two questions. 1. Do I need a lot of help to fix this? Like, do I need an adult? And 2, will it take a long time to fix? Minutes versus days versus weeks? If the answer is no to both questions, this is a no big, and you need to match your reaction to that, Mrs. Monarch says. See, bugging out is a big reaction and makes the scale unbalanced, she says. You need a small reaction for no big problems. What about if it is a big problem? Freddie said. Good question, said Mrs. Monarch. Everyone will face big problems at some point. It's okay to be upset then, and maybe bug out a little. But then you must find a solution. Maybe even involve an adult so they can help you solve the problem. Later on, I can work with you on some ways to keep your bugging out in check for those big problems. Why don't you try using the scale at home, and we'll meet again tomorrow. The next day, my family went to the park. I headed to the swings, but they were all full. I felt myself starting to fill up when Freddie walked up beside me. This stinks, he says, and I can tell he's ready to bug out too. I start to agree when I remember our scale and I ask, do we need someone's help to solve this? No. Will it take a long time to solve? No. So it's a no big. And on our scale, a no big does not mean bugging out. We both deflate and head to the sandbox. When we get to the sandbox, Slinky's there. He's crying and bugging out. What's wrong? Asked Freddie. Some of the older bugs picked on me and threw sand in my eyes, Slinky said. I go through the two questions. 1, do we need someone's help to solve this problem? Yes, we need an adult for this one. 2, will this take more than a few minutes to solve? Yes. This is a big problem. It's okay that Slinky's bugging out. Freddie said he would stay with Slinky while I get an adult. That night, my grandbug was putting me to bed. We can't find my favorite bedtime story, and I feel my stomach inflate. I can't control it. With a giant whoosh, I bug out. Whoa, that was quite a stink, said Grandbug. Reminds me of when I used to flip out when I couldn't always be first. I caused such a stink, you couldn't go back into the room for days. I tell him about the scale Mrs. Monarch gave us, and he smiled. I wish I'd had that, he said. What I did was take a deep breath and count to 10. As I was counting, I would come up with as many solutions to the problem as I could. If you can come up with a solution, it usually means it's a no big. The next day, I went to Bug Bunch with Freddie. When we got there, Freddie snagged the last seat. Uh-oh. I wonder what she's going to do. I felt my belly start to fill as my temperature went up, but I paused and weighed the situation. 1. Do I need adult help for this? No. 2. Will it take a long time to solve? No, it's a quick fix. The problem is equal to a no big on the scale. I let out a breath and looked for another chair. Mrs. Monarch offered me her special teacher seat. Then she asked, "How did it go?" It was hard, I said, but my problems went away faster when I didn't bug out. Now I feel like I'll never bug out again. Well, at least not over no bigs. So, this, I have to say, is one of my favorite Freddies because the strategies in this are actually something I use all the time. Grown-ups go through problems as well, and they might feel like big deals, and we have big emotions, but we have to work on weighing the problems in our reactions too. One thing I do want to discuss quickly before I go over a fun little activity you can do to extend the book and the lesson is that, if you or a child has a big feeling around a situation, that's okay. We don't want to invalidate the feelings. What we're trying to do is build up the tools, the language, so that when they're having these problems, maybe they're having that feeling, but they have the resources they need to get the perspective to see that it might not be a big deal, might be a no big. And then each time they're presented with it, their reaction time and those feelings might be less. So one thing I love to do is have visuals and make things concrete. And since this book is all about weighing the problem and kind of our reaction, and we talk about a scale, I know Mrs. Monarch said, not everyone like me will have a scale, but you can make a weight for all the problems so you can think about that scale more in your head. So what I like to do is a little math, even though, as most of you know, math is not my favorite thing, but this is very simple math. And then I take our 2 questions, and you can go through the book and use the problems that they were doing and answer them again. But this time when we're looking at it and we're answering no, we're assigning now a number. So our O becomes 0. So if the 2 answers to the questions are no and no, it's 0 plus 0 is 0, which then equals our no big. Then you can take it again. Let's say it's a no and a yes. We now have that 0 for the O, and now our S becomes a 5. So we have 0 plus 5. So that's in the middle. It's not as lightweight as our 0, but it's not really heavy. So it would be a meh, our middle ground problems. Our final one is our double yes. So again, that S is becoming our 5 for our 5 pounds. So now we're 5 plus 5 is 10. And that is a big problem because that is a big weight. So it's equaling out to our big problems. So a fun thing you can do is find some food. I'm very motivated always by food if you don't have weights. So you can use those to represent, the 5 pounds, the 10 pounds, and the 0. I kind of say 1 pound because it would be hard to have that on a scale. And go through the book and kind of see okay, do we think the problem is a big one or do we think it a no big, and use the food to represent that. So I like to grab an apple and then a little piece of candy for our no big and our big. And then you can do it one of 2 ways. You can do it where you each have this item in front of you and you're back to back. And you're becoming the scale and you're going to each pick and decide, okay, let's say it's Slinky has the crayon you want. Is that a no big, a lightweight problem, or is it a big, our 10-pound problem? And each of you, without seeing what the other is doing, pick one of the items and then hold it out and then see if your scales match. So if you pick the small one and somebody else is picking this, you might want to then go through and discuss a little more and ask the questions each time to see if you're getting that double no or that double yes. Then as you're weighing the problems better and they're matching the size of the problem, you can do it to the solutions. Let's say that you're having, you're not the line leader and you now know, yep, that is a no big. However, you're bugging out. When you're doing that, your scale isn't equal either. So then you have to figure out some reactions and you can make a list together to figure out what will bring the scale to be on a more even level. So I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I did sharing it with you. And the food, like I said, afterwards, the fun part of that is you can enjoy it as a great snack. I hope you will check out this Freddie and all the others at Boys Town Press. You can go to them online at boystownpress.org and check out these and other great stories. Thanks, guys.